What's happening, people? Welcome back to part 3 of this 3-part series on how to approach and view life and existence. In part 1, I asked if we should be absurdists, if an absurd view of life and reality and existence was the right approach. And even though we have an absurd aspect to our existence, to our life, in a rational and intellectual sense, I don't believe it's the right way. In part 2, I asked if we should be existentialist. And even though I believe we should make ourselves and create ourselves out of really nothing, and only we can, I don't believe we should be existentialists. I don't believe that's the right approach either, because we're not infinitely free. We're not infinitely variable. So is nihilism the right approach? Should we be nihilists? Well, let's discuss. My name is Lex, and you could call me a philosopher or even a guru because I teach people how to perform existential rehab on themselves. But I simply consider myself a communicator and a student in the art of living well in an unwell world. Welcome to my channel. Nihilism. Is it the right approach, the right view of life, existence, and reality? In a very real sense, it's the only reasonable approach in my opinion. In an intellectual, rational, cognitive, or academic sense, it's the only reasonable view to hold, the only reasonable perspective to have on this universe and on life. And when I say universe and life, I'm talking about cosmic nihilism and existential nihilism, the two main heavy hitters in the nihilistic position, the nihilistic philosophical umbrella. They're the ones that we mostly talk about and default to and are concerned with in life. Does the universe have meaning? Does life have meaning? Well, no, not intellectually, cognitively, rationally, or academically. The reason that I say that we should be nihilistic in this way is because meaning requires one of three things that we cannot have when it comes to life or the universe, the cosmos. We cannot know the fundamental and essential nature of either. We don't know it if we can. And that's a requirement for meaning, to know what a thing is truthfully, essentially, fundamentally, absolutely, deeply. We don't know the entirety of the universe, the entirety of life. We cannot see it in its entirety objectively. We cannot stand outside of life. We cannot stand outside of the universe. And if you want to be rational and intellectual and academic about meaning, you cannot really be inside of the thing, because it'd be like being inside of your scientific experiment and trying to not mess up the measurements or affect the outcome. It's almost impossible. We are inside of the thing we're trying to understand, and therefore we must understand ourselves in full, or we may not even understand the thing at all. Because if you don't understand the thing in its entirety, all of its constituent components, or you're not able to see the thing as a complete whole, a spherical whole or a square or an object objectively, outside of it, then any portion you miss, any portion you're unable to see or ignorant to, may be enough, significant enough to transform the totality, the entirety, the truth of the whole. So you may have a narrative, a story, a wrong one about a thing because you're missing an important and key feature or aspect of the thing. So unless you can see the thing in its entirety and in total, you don't know the meaning of it. And if you don't know the essential nature of a thing, you don't know the meaning of it. Now, we don't know many things in this way. So one of the main ways we find meaning in this world, in this life, in this universe, in my opinion, is to know a thing that we don't know in terms of its relation to other things that we do know, or a schema of relationships that we understand. So we can be ignorant of thing one, but if we understand all of the things that thing one affects and all of the things that thing one is affected by, we can potentially understand what the meaning or the point or the use of thing one may be. We don't have that perspective. We can't do that with the universe, and we can't do that with life, clearly. So nihilism is the right view in an academic, rational, intellectual, and cognitive sense. However, in my opinion, we should never go as far as to reject the possibility, the potentiality for meaning's existence. Just because we can't see one of these three things, we don't understand one of these three constituent components or pillars of meaning, doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just may be an inch or two away from our face, a day or an hour away from being discovered. So the reality, the truth of a thing's existence is not dependent or contingent upon our knowledge of it. So we are nihilistic only to the degree that we can't and don't know the meaning of life or the universe. But we shouldn't be nihilistic to the point that we reject meaning as a potentiality for life in the universe. That would be an error. That would be an overreach and an overstep, because we don't have the perspective, unfortunately, to create or reject meaning, to identify and label meaning, or to deny it. We're human. So, should we be nihilistic or shouldn't we be nihilistic? What am I saying? In a rational and intellectual sense, we should be nihilistic about the meaning of the universe and the meaning of all life. I really believe that. However, we don't need to be nihilistic about the meaning of our own existence. I believe meaning is something that a human being, maybe only humans, can create, make, sustain, and experience. It may be just a human component, human quality, human power that we possess. Either way, it is something that we do possess, and that means that we can create meaning. And the reason that we can create meaning, but we can't create it for the universe or for all life, the reason that we can't create it for ourselves is because meaning is context dependent. It is defined by the parameters in which the meaning is housed or lives. So once you draw narrowly or broadly defined boundaries, but just definitive boundaries around a thing, you can create a bubbled, pocketed universe in which you can create the new rules. And anyone that accepts the rules of this universe or experiences them as real enough will experience meaning within this universe. When you narrow your attempt to create meaning or devise or define meaning to you, you are now someone that should not exist nihilistically. You're not trying to determine what the meaning of the universe is. And you shouldn't. If you're being reasonable and you're not trying to determine what the meaning of all life is, not definitively, because you're being reasonable, but you should be trying to determine what the meaning of your life is. We shouldn't be nihilistic when it comes to an individual existence, our existence. But what do? You don't know the meaning in the way you want. You don't know the meaning of life, the universe. What are you supposed to do? How do you make sense of this without understanding its relation to all of that? Well, as I've said before, you get to the essence of this. You get to the essence of you. Now, that can only really be done in a transcendent fashion, spirituality in that sense. But here's another way. Here's a reasonable, rational, and intellectual way to go, in my opinion. What you do, if you don't want to transcend the limitations of an individual, you need to make yourself, your experience of your life, it. Make yourself self-referential, a closed, self-contained universe of one. Once you've done that, then everything within that universe will become equivalently meaningful or meaningful to some degree, unless you see a portion of your life, your experience of your existence as insignificant, as something that does not matter. And I can't see that being a reasonable position. So once you've made your life, your reality, your experience of your existence, a closed, self-contained, self-referential reality, then when you create meaning within that, meaning will be felt within that as if it was the meaning for all life in existence, because you've closed your concern down to you. You are now a game or a sport or a nation or an economy or a legal system or a scientific system or religion, whatever you want to think of, anything in which you've existed previously, anything that you've known previously that felt real. All of these pocketed, bubbled, parameterized, limited, contextualized realities you've existed in before and have known meaning within before, whether that, like I said, academia, economies, or whatever, you will now know meaning for yourself, for your own life and existence as strongly, if not more strongly. It will feel like that because it's understood. Once you've done this, the way that you destroy nihilism, really forever, in my opinion, is you reprioritize the point of this universe called you, the experience of your existence. You reprioritize the main overarching point and objective of this universe, of this reality, to be an optimized, enhanced experience. I would say that the reasonable thing, the most reasonable, the only reasonable thing potentially would be to have the best experience of life you can have. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm not trying to assume that I understand anyone's perspective or opinion or inner world. But I know that most people don't feel like they can be meaningful in and of themselves, that they can be significant to themselves. Therefore, they're looking for, they're trying to find the significance of themselves externally. But you can't. You can't do that until you accept rational, cognitive, intellectual, and academic nihilism for the universe and for all life and existence. You are going to struggle because you're not being reasonable. You're not being an adult. You're pulling the covers over your head again, and you're missing what you must accept because it is an existing truthful reality. You're not going to know it that way, even though you want to. You need to learn. We all need to learn. Everyone must need to learn Everyone must need to learn. Everyone must learn to accept themselves as the point, as the most important thing in their existence, in their experience. It's not going to be easy. It doesn't feel like we're worth it. It doesn't feel like we could ever be that much to ourselves, but that's what we need to become. We need to stop looking for other things, without a doubt, to give us significance, to make us worthwhile. We need to understand that we are worthwhile because we're the ones having an experience of our existence. No one understands how this is happening truthfully, deeply, objectively. No one understands us at all in a truthful, direct fashion other than us. Therefore, we are the caretakers of our existence, of our life, as soon as we come to adulthood, maturity, and are able to. You must be it to you at a very minimum, or none of this works. And so it's really important to resolve this sufficiently, fundamentally, satisfactorily, or life will be diminished in the point of your limited individual contextualized self-referential self-contained universe will be diminished. It will be lessened. You will miss the point, and that's to miss the point of life, potentially, to a degree, at least the point of life from my perspective in my universe. Nihilism. It's not the way. Get rid of it. Be done with it once and for all. That's my advice. That's my opinion. But let me know what you think. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, leave them below in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Do all of that if you want. And I will see you in another video. So I thank you for watching this one. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Later.